In this problem, we're going to solve a tricky limit. The limit as x approaches negative infinity of 4x minus 3 over the square root of 25x squared plus 4x. Okay, so first thing we notice is that we have x approaching either infinity or negative infinity, in this case negative infinity. When you've got those problems where x approaches plus or minus infinity, you want to look for the highest degree terms on the numerator and the denominator. So the highest degree on the numerator is 1, 4x to the 1. And then you cross out everything else. So this minus 3, it's not going to matter. All right, so the denominator, highest degree is 2 with 25x squared. That means we cross out this 4x. That's not going to matter. Okay? And then we rewrite the limit. We see what's left over. So this is equal to the limit as x approaches negative infinity of 4x divided by the square root of 25x squared. Okay, so let's look at the denominator and let's simplify that. This is kind of tricky. Okay, so square root of 25x squared. Well, 25 is 5 squared. Right, so I've got a 5 squared under the radical. That means I can pull out a 5. And I'm left with square root of x squared. Okay, and now off on the side here, is the square root of x squared equal to x? No, that's wrong. This is the tricky part. That's not true. Square root of x squared is equal to the absolute value of x. And the way to remember that, right, if square root of x squared is equal to x, that would mean that the square root of negative 2 squared was equal to negative 2. But it's not. It's actually equal to plus 2, right? So square root of x squared is equal to absolute value of x, right? And absolute value of x, that's x when x is larger than 0, and negative x when x is less than 0, right? Looks like this. Okay, so that is key for this problem. So this is equal to 5 times the absolute value of x. And since x is approaching negative infinity, we want the x less than 0 side of the absolute value of x. So that's negative 5x. Right? I'm substituting in negative x because I know that x is going to be less than 0 because it's approaching negative infinity. All right, so we rewrote the denominator, the square root of 25x squared. Okay, so the limit, I'm just going to rewrite the last line that we had. So just rewriting that. So this is equal to the limit as x approaches negative infinity of 4x. And then the denominator, we simplified that, and it's negative 5x. So this is the limit as x approaches negative infinity of negative 4 over 5, and then there's x over x. So that's great, those cancel. So we are left with the limit as x approaches negative infinity of negative 4 over 5. There's no x in that expression. So what is that limit equal to? It's just equal to negative 4/5. And that's the answer. Right? So this complicated function, as x approaches negative infinity, this complicated function approaches negative 4/5. And the key step is rewriting the denominator, where we had the square root of something that had an x squared inside it. And the key part is this right here. Square root of x squared equals absolute value of x. it's really easy to just write square root of x squared equals x, but that's not quite right. And if you did that for this problem, you would get the wrong answer. So be very careful when you're rewriting the square root of x squared.